as we had last left it off. The party, after defeating the detachment of demons, made their way over to the Centaurs. There they met with Callus Sorsky. They came to learn a little bit about Centaur culture, how they are an exceptionally spiritual bunch, how they read omens in the lands and the heaven skies. They only act according to what their omens say. And it is under this precipice that they have elected not to join your war. Even though they believe the threat is real, they have chosen not to side with you because the portents and the omens do not suggest as such. And you all are left there contemplating how to turn this around. Meanwhile, Korgrin scried on Princess Ariel, where she had a conversation with Valentine Shearington, the Minister for Warfare, in it where you learned that Valentine is not loyal to the king, he's loyal to Windward, and as such, he follows the king's orders. He is a soldier through and through. So, it would appear that he's not particularly pro-bad guy, but pro-Windward. However, you all stand there in the midst of the camp, with all the centaurs standing around, going about their daily lives. It's certainly an interesting experience. Everything moves a lot faster, and everything is a lot bigger in this place. As Callus has returned to governing his people, and their lives go on about. What would you guys like to do?
How are the centaurs toward? Are they avoiding us? Are they?
After then
Shunning us?
seeing you converse with Callus, there's a lot of that trepidation of unknown people walking about the centaurs kind of dropped. And whereas before they didn't want to probably let you see them, see who they are, they have just gone about to being people, going about their business, and as such, one could even argue that you've just become part of the crowd. I mean, don't get me wrong, a centaur who gets within 5-10 feet of you will be like, oh, they're curious people, but no, they'll just go about their business now. The shiny new things have been unwrapped and are no longer shiny, shall we say.
I'm always shiny. I've got a pocket full of gold. I'd just like to flag the next one down that walks past and say, excuse me, can I ask you a few questions?
So you flag down a female centaur. She looks to be in her mid-20s, long flowing, braided brown hair, sort of like double pigtailed over the sides a bit. She's sort of she's carrying a basket in her arms with various foods, wheat, apples, and the like. And she just goes, "Oh, hello. How may I help?"
I'm just after a bit more information on your culture. I'm afraid I've never been this close to a centaur herd before, and your ways are quite new to me. I'm just trying to work out how everything works.
Well, if you wish to have a full accounting of our people, I would recommend you speak with the Prime Hoof. He is a recounter of our ways and our histories, but if you're not looking to go into that depth, I'd be more than happy to answer some general questions.
We've been told that you look to the sky for omens, for messages from the gods. Does the whole clan do that? Is there one
Indeed.
designated person?
Some are more adept at reading the omens and the messages laid to us by the gods in the sky than others. Some dedicate their entire lives to this. They are known as the Surefoots.
What would happen if there was disagreement on what an omen meant?
There's always cause for debate, but generally our omens are quite clear-cut, without room for interpretation. The manner of which that omen is read is always can be argued upon, but ultimately we are so fine-tuned with our ways that the intent of the message has always been crystal clear to those who can read it.
That sounds like a very nice way to live. It seems would seem great to have such clear guidelines and direction in your life.
Our way is one of assuredness. The omens never lie. We have never misinterpreted. It is not within our capabilities as a centaur and as a people. We know we are right.
One more question, if I may.
Of course.
If this whole wood was to catch fire in some way, and there was a huge fire and you could see it, you were aware of it coming towards your camp, would you flee the camp? Would you move and set up somewhere else, or maybe attempt to fight the fire? Or would you
Make
wait
a
for an omen to tell
persuasion
you to do
roll.
these things?
Make a persuasion roll, because it certainly feels like it feels to her like a bit of a threat, to be honest.
It was certainly not intended as a threat. Just generally pointing out that if the forest was burning down, they'd fuck off. They wouldn't wait for the sky to tell them to fuck off. Is what I'm trying to get at.
She has a bit of a. She kind of like takes a step backwards a little bit, like, we're not fools. If the forest was burning down, we certainly would save ourselves. We wouldn't wait for an omen. But our omens don't work in that way. We would read the stars to inform us that maybe a calamity was coming, or maybe our way of life was to be uprooted, or a great source of heat would go about a change of nature.
And you would know in advance. Okay, that is very helpful. I am sorry to keep you from your duties. I can see you're carrying food. I wouldn't want to disrupt you further. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem at all. Peace be upon you. And she
And also with you.
hops off.
So who do you want to speak to? The Prime Hoof or the Surefoots?
I reckon the Surefoots. They're the ones that seem to be the most adept. They spend their life into interpreting these things. So if there is any disagreement, they're going to be the ones that would settle it, I feel. But it doesn't feel like they disagree much, which makes things slightly more awkward.
Do you want to go to them and I'll go, or me and others can go to the Prime Hoof then? Because I feel like the Prime Hoof is the one that will be able to tell us the most about previous omens and how they've been interpreted and such.
That seems sensible.
Okay. Who would like to go speak to Surefoot, and who would like to go speak to the Prime Hoof?
I will go to the Surefoot. However, I was not clever enough to ask how I would find them, but I would happily flag down someone else and ask.
It's easy enough for you to be able to find directions to Surefoots. They have, whilst most of the buildings here are temporary, they inhabit more permanent buildings that were already there in the area that have mainly usually observatories or just like windmills and like basically stuff where they can have access to the wide open sky from the inside. Barns are usually quite good for that with the roofs taken down.
A barn. Come on, horses, get in the barn.
Yeah, don't try that, Korgrin.
So Verity, so Rennas is going to go speak with the Surefoot. Who would like to go with him?
I reckon I'd go.
I'd go wherever Korgrin isn't.
Is or isn't?
Isn't.
What do you have against Korgrin?
What's wrong with Korgrin all of a sudden?
Nothing.
A sleeping bag.
Exactly. It's weird now.
I'd probably go and try and find the children centaurs. Kids hear a lot. They know a
Sit
lot.
with you and kids.
They
Oh,
have the
God.
most information, and
Well,
they're the
Charles
easiest
Groomer.
to get
Arri,
it out of.
do not teach
I'm
them
going to
knife
go
tricks.
find the kids.
I don't teach the kids how to throw knives. That's you guys. So
All right, so Arrabella will go find some centaur fowls. Verity?
Sorry.
You cannot. There you are.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that mouth's real fucking full, baby.
So, where would be the best place to go to find like records of omens and messages?
They would be to the prior. Well, probably. All right, so that's a bit of an interpretation. The Shorefoots, they're the ones that interpret the omens most clearly, and they guide the clans in regards to what they have, seen from the omens. Whereas the Primefoots, they are the best at. They recount Centaur history, upload culture, and their own inter-herd laws.
So I guess like that second one, like I
So-
assume they would have like documented,
Yeah.
scenarios with omens and stuff.
Alright, so you'll be heading off with Rennas, Russ, and Otti to go and see the Shorefoots then. Sorry, no, the Primefoots, my apologies.
So with Korgrin.
Yeah, with Korgrin. Alrighty then. Who would like to go first then?
Let Korgrin go first. I just stole the spotlight for a bit.
Alright. So, Korgrin and Verity. Taking some directions, you are led throughout the camp to not a sort of kind of like a wide open area where there is a lot of kind of, it looks more like a social gathering of centaurs, if anything, in a wide open field like area. There are, shall we say, food displays on the ground where people can sort of like kneel down and eat in picnic kind of area. And this seems to be like just like a large makeshift picnic like area sort of thing. And standing amongst or sort of patrolling amongst these people are centaurs that are not as clad in armor as Callus was, but they certainly stand out. They are. You can see them interacting with some people in a relatively positive manner, but they do seem ready for trouble, if anything. They carry usually on their bodies various manners of scrolls, books. They do have like large inks, cartridges, and quills equipped for them as well. So not only are they kind of like armed, but they're also ready to document as well. The best description I can sort of give to you that you would interpret it as such, as is arms as like scholar police.
So they're like the people in fucking courtrooms that just keep a record of everything, but also they've got a wicked sword at their side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair. How you holding up there, Georgia? Other than poorly.
In and out.
Seems like a really stable connection.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, Verity, if you want anything, just type it in the chat. But I'll kind of approach and just excuse me. Are you the Prime Hooves? Prime Hoof?
So you come up to one individual. He's not wearing as much armor as the rest of them. Kind of like an unbuttoned kind of tunic and the like. This guy's like pretty jacked in that regard. It's got kind of like a buzz fringe sort of thing, but like long flowing, like brownish hair at the back or so. Got a couple of scars across his cheek, and he goes, "Oh, hello there. I have heard of strangers that speak the phrase of our people. Welcome."
Yes, that would be us, certainly. Thank you. Thank you for being welcoming. Am I correct in my interpretation that you're the Prime Hoofs?
I am one of several individuals that go by the title of Prime Hoof, yes.
I see. Fair enough. And are you all, just as equally qualified, I suppose? You all do the same thing, have records of the same stuff?
It is our responsibility to keep our clans together in a sense of unity by recounting the travels of the past, the plains of eternity, in an attempt to guide us to short lands in the future.
Pardon my interpretation if I'm incorrect, but would that make you kind of the priests or the holy men of the Centaurs?
I have heard of priest before. I would say that is not an apt word to be described for us. We are guiders.
Spiritual guides.
I suppose that could be one way to interpret it.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce myself as a sort of equivalent, but for the Dwarven folk, though I may take my directions from my god, and I appreciate you take your guidance from the stars and the omens that you or your fellows, the
Well,
Surefoot read.
In this we are relatively similar. It is the gods, the great Equestrius, that write our messages into the sky, into the winds and the lands and the waters. It is our gods that send us our messages. We simply must be wise enough to read them. I myself am not too apt at reading the more intricacies of these omens. That procedure would belong to a Surefoot.
Of course. So if you don't mind, actually, then I just want to learn a little bit more about these omens, these interpretations. The if you had to think of the five greatest omens that the Centaur clan have received, for cultural learning. I'm trying to understand the Centaur clan better.
Make a persuasion roll, but use your wisdom modifier, please.
Sure, I can certainly try. So, would effectively just be like any wisdom check then, like insight or survival.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're proficient in persuasion, then obviously you could add your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
But if not, it would just be a wisdom check, really.
Yeah, I'll just roll a wisdom check then. Okay, where are we? There.
Okay. He takes a little bit of the measure of you, and just sees kind of like the divine radiance that sort of naturally emanates from you a little bit. And he takes a brief look at Verity, who has that kind of that wild sort of bang bang aspect about her.
That crackhead, kind of shaking and twitching.
How the very weave around her seems to sort of bend a little. And he just kind of nods and goes, well, there's been a few omens that have changed the course of our ways before. I recount the first omen of the night sky, the explosion of the star. It was recounted as a way and interpreted as a way for the centaurs to ride and change locales. It was what first gave us our desire to move from land to land. We interpreted this exploding star as a means that not even stars are not permanent, and neither should we. And we should move and change as the heavens do.
Interesting.
Our last omen that changed the course of our ways was when a red moon rised over a violet morning star. The stars still shone brightly, but the air was crisp and cold. The birds did not fly that day, and the fish did not swim. That was an omen of grave horrible, terrible purpose. It was about 3 decades ago. My father was one of the ones who actually interpreted it along with many others. He was a Surefoot himself.
Just a quick mental check. Was that around about Argoneth's time?
Yeah, 3 decades ago was when Argoneth rose. When this omen happened, we withdrew ourselves to the most secluded parts of the land. A country far, far to the north. You people would know it as Vespotan. We were there. But then the Ickers came. The Black Bloods. The winged monsters. There was a great deal of fighting that, unfortunately, forced our clans to scatter to the winds. Many of us sided with the people of Vespotan to defend ourselves against this encroaching menace, but others hid. There was a war, you see, many years ago. The Centaurs were involved, but not unified. It was the first time we have ever broken apart as a people.
I imagine quite the significant occurrence then for the clan to be so scattered and...
Very much so, and the Surefoots warned us that a great separation was coming. So when it happened, I like to think we were prepared.
And so that was the last kind of most significant one. Have the Centaur clans ever gone to war, or is there any kind of, have you ever fought and you've seen that in the stars?
There has been one interpretation many thousands of years ago. A great calamity rose from the ground, and the Centaurs sided. Bear with me just a moment, I just need to confirm the information here.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Yes, we were friends with a ancient family known as the Platytorms.
Oh.
We sided with them, and we fought back this darkness. That was the last time that a call of war was ever interpreted, many thousands of years ago.
So just to clarify my understanding, there was a great calamity that rose from the ground, and you sided with the Platytars. If I remember correct, they're my
The Platytorms.
ancestors.
I do not recall if they were of any particular race. All I know is that the word or the name Platytorm in our interpretation meant friend.
That is what, not that spelling, but I do believe I've got House Platytor down in my notes.
Yours is House Platytorm.
It is, okay, so I've just
Yeah.
misspelt it previously then.
Hmm.
I see. Very interesting. And what was this great battle that you waged? Who was it against?
All we know is that it was a creature of great destruction and madness.
Was it perchance the Wild Terror?
I do not know.
Oh no,
not
I'm
familiar
asking
with
the DM, Jack, rather than the Centaur.
Up to your interpretation.
Okay. Against a creature of madness and what was it?
Destruction.
So it could have been Argoneth then, but in the past as well. Or maybe not. That could have been.
The original Argoneth from the
Yeah.
Freeman's speech.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. With the original 7, basically. Is it 7 or 6 or however many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 7 with Argus, I suppose. And if I had to ask, I know this is quite a peculiar question. Does the name Zurfamon mean anything to you?
It does not, no.
Fair enough, thank you. Just thought I'd inquire, just out of morbid curiosity, of course, with your history.
I appreciate the interest in our culture. If you have a few minutes, I'd be more than happy to regale you with some of our more unified history.
Verity, can you talk? Are you okay now?
Can't hear if you are talking, Georgia.
She
They
just
are.
typed.
typing.
They just typed out. Yeah, can't talk.
Can't talk, fair enough. Then I'll raise the question on kind of Verity's behalf. If there were any recent omens that haven't been interpreted.
So
Or if that would be more of a short question.
Just for the sake of brevity, there have been omens that have not been initially interpreted correctly before. That is usually a source of great shame for the Surefoot that would interpret that as such to be wrong. You get every interaction you've had with the Centaur so far, it just gets the feeling that they are very prideful creatures who believe they can't be wrong. So when someone is wrong, it's kind of like admitting they're not a true centaur. So they get there's a great stigma / taboo about it.
And the last omen, I don't know if that would be the Argoneth one, or if they were just like more minor ones as well. Like,
They've never
don't go hunting today. It's bad hunt today.
Well, pretty much any centaur would be able to sort of make that kind of connection with skies and the various natures and the like. Something like that personal, however, is really down to the interpretation of the individual. For something so widespread, they rely on the Surefoot's interpretations.
So the more Centaur clan wide omens are generally the ones that come through the Surefoots.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough. And the last query was the Argoneth omen, which you've already answered, so that's fair enough. I suppose that's fair. Do you have anything else, Verity? You good?
Well, we can come back to that. But basically, oh, there we go.
Hello.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Interesting. The sounds of violence.
Yeah, so like I missed a whole chunk because like my phone wasn't connecting, and now I've finally got my computer to do it. Hopefully this should be fine.
That answers any recent omens that haven't been interpreted.
Right.
The last great omen they had was around the time when Argoneth rose. They were warned that their people was going to be scattered. They retreated to a country called Resputin. When the demons came, they did scatter. Many of them stayed to fight with the Resputinians, but others just kind of scattered to the winds, and it was only until after the war that they kind of gather back together again.
Right. Oh fuck. I need to give it a bit more of a think, but if I have any other questions, I'll let you know.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, in any case, the Prime Foot spends the next probably good 10, 20 minutes just kind of talking your ears off. He's very prideful of his ways and his people, and he's very happy to sort of share that with you. So you get to learn a lot of general-based stuff. So without me having to go into too much detail about it, you guys, Verity and Korgrin, they learn, they get a good first lesson on Centaur culture and history and how they are as a people. And the interpretations that you guys would make would basically just kind of put it down to what I've been saying, is that they are very prideful creatures who are very sure of themselves. And if they believe something, it's a matter of pride that they will believe it, even if kind of told otherwise. They don't like to admit they're wrong, sort of thing. So if they were to, say, interpret something which wasn't necessarily true, they wouldn't probably go back on themselves for fear of shaming themselves.
Right. Proud, but to a fault.
Yes, they're very prideful creatures.
Okay. Fair enough. I suppose on to either Arri or the foot fetishists.
Well, we'll go with Arri next because Rennas did have a turn. So Arrabella, I mean, you walk amongst the camps. There are families here, and they're quite happy. You see some kids practicing with small little short bows, just like going for small little bullseye painted on a tree. You see some just like running around, running with like sort of like deer and other such animals, even wolves and dogs that I wouldn't say they've been tamed, but they're in harmony with the centaurs here. They still tower over you by a significant portion. Even the children, by your definition, could be considered a large creature. So yeah, what would you like to do?
Well, if there was going to be a group of them somewhere, like, I'd go over to them. So if there's like a group of them, like playing bow and arrow with a little thing, I'd go around and and be like, "Oh wow, you're really, really good with that! Like, that is a beautiful, beautiful weapon. Do you mind if I have one?"
They look at you, and I mean, there's like a couple of boys, a few girls, bit freckled faced, bit snotty nosed, a little bit. So the biggest one, who looks like to be the oldest or so, just kind of like just goes, "Oh, really small."
Yeah, but I can fire this big bow, and I'll get my longbow out and show him.
I bet you can't.
Oh, tell you what.
Nat one
What do
incoming.
you want me to hit? I know, right?
See if you can hit that tree over there. And he points to where they've been shooting at.
Okay, I'll give it a
Bet
go.
you can't. I practice every day. Bet you can't do it.
Oh, I think you may be a bit better than me then. And I'll get my scribe to hopefully hit a tree. Oh, I've got.
Wow! Like the other kids are like, they look impressed. The older kids are like, "Oh, that's nothing. I bet you can't hit that little branch up there."
I go, "I probably can't. I am quite small, and that is very high up." And I'll try and go again.
You gotta be cheating. There's no way someone that small could shoot so well.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm so small that they had to give me good eyesight.
Oh. He looks around. Right, that big leaf at the very top of that tree. And you look at, he's pointing at something that's like well over like 150 feet, kind of like from your direction. I bet you can't hit that. No one's ever been able to hit that leaf.
I think that's literally just within my range, isn't it?
Yeah, there. You hit the leaf. You don't shoot the leaf, but you do hit the leaf, and it does sort of like. What's it? And the kids just go, "Wow!" And the kid's like, "I can't believe you actually touched it. You're really good."
Oh, I do try. I'm sure you're all better though.
Oh, I bet we could run faster than you.
Oh, almost definitely. I can.
Yeah.
Have
How
you
do you
seen
not fall over with 2 legs?
I've like I do quite often, to be honest.
Well, I just don't see how you just don't fall forwards or backwards without 4 legs to stabilise
Oh,
you.
well, you
Just
see,
don't work.
we've got these bits on our feet. So these bits are like your forward feet.
Ah, a little fair there.
And yes, Arrabella gets her foot in front of her face and just explains that her foot is long and that's how she doesn't fall on her face.
So about a foot off the ground then.
Ah,
I am almost 4 foot.
that's
Thank you very much.
weird. Ah.
So have you guys been in this camp for long?
Oh, we've been here for how long? We've been here. Oh, Dad said we got to stay here for another month or so.
Yeah.
Oh, but we've already been here for a season.
I just saw the bloody thanks, Zach.
uh,
Do you normally move with the seasons then?
sometimes. And we go by how the Shorefits say to us, to be honest. They read their omens. I can't see them very well. I mean, I look up at the skies and I see today's going to be hot, or today something bad's going to happen, or something like that. But yeah, I don't really know how they can tell where we need to go to and when, really. Yeah.
I'll look up at the sky and be like, all I can see is a mushroom in a top hat. Which one do you think says that something bad may happen today?
No, I'm not saying nothing. I haven't read an omen that it's going to be bad, but usually it'll be something like a crack in the clouds, or maybe there'll be a blockage of the stars, or maybe a dried leaf will fall in an otherwise healthy tree.
What is the season, by the way?
You are just approaching, or you are actually, yeah, you're coming into autumn now. So yeah.
So I'll turn and be like,
Yeah. The campaign started at the beginning of spring.
okay. So I was like, wouldn't leaves fall now anyway?
Well, it depends on the land you're in.
I guess. Have you ever been to the Ever Autumn Forest?
I think. Oh, someone said something about that. Oh, we moved by it a while ago. We didn't go inside of it. There was some scary things inside. They said we shouldn't go inside.
I've been in there. It's where I met my first centaur.
Oh.
It's beautiful there.
Oh.
The trees never lose their leaves, and they still have this beautiful, like, bronzy browny color. And I'll gesture to one of them who has like brownie, like orange,
Yeah.
like auburn hair, and be like,
They just kind of like just take their hair and just like look at it and just go, oh, wow.
yeah,
How does it stay like that then?
magic.
Wow.
Do a lot of you guys have magic?
Some of us, have can do magic sometimes, but it's not a thing for centaurs, as far as I know, at least.
Fair. I can only do a little bit, and I'll kind of just make flowers appear in my hand and kind of just drop them to the floor. So has the camp been busy lately, or are we the first couple of guys to?
Well, we always have people coming in and out. No one as strange as you.
Strange because I'm small, or?
Yeah, you're very small. I not had anyone as small as you. Not had anyone come up and talk to us before, actually.
I always think kids know the most whenever you go to a place anyway. Best people to talk to, in my
we
opinion.
We are super smart, yeah.
I can tell. You're all very, very smart. And very, very talented as well.
Yeah. You can just see one of the younger boys, like kind of a bit of a bob haircut. Like most of his face, he immediately just goes this big shade of red over his face and just kind of moves around and goes,
Any idea where you guys will move to next? I know a beautiful place. Do you think I should tell the Shorefoots about it?
What is it?
It's where I live currently. It's a
Oh?
beautiful, beautiful like field up in the mountains. It's got wide open pastures, food, and so many different types of people live there.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm sure the Shorefits already know about it.
Yeah.
They know everything.
Well, are any of your parents Shorefoots?
Mine isn't. Felicity, isn't your dad a Shorefoot? Ha, yeah, but he's not, yeah. He's all, yeah.
Do you want to be a Shorefoot one day? Is that what you want to be, or what do you want to grow up to be?
Well, I heard of a guy who read the omens so well that he could actually talk to them and they talk back to him. He wasn't a centaur. He was an elf or something. But we talk about him sometimes, and he's everybody knew him by his big book, and I want to be like him. I want to be able to talk to the omens and stuff.
Hey, like his name? Do you know?
They just call him the book elf.
The book elf. Sounds fab. Do you have many elves here now, or is it just the centaurs that are Shorefoots?
Just the centaurs are short foots. The only centaurs can read it that well, but the book elf was very, very good at it as well.
Do you know much more about the book elf?
He was a hero. I know that much. I know well, I've heard my mummy and my daddy talk about him when they think I'm not listening. Apparently, he rode alone into a mount that was given to him by the gods. The omens made a horse for him. So it was like he could try to be like one of us, but he wouldn't be domesticating an innocent animal. And apparently he fought entire bad people alone and won without even a scratch to his shiny golden armor.
Have like a memory check for an elf in shiny gold armor.
Make a history
That
check.
sounds familiar. Not my strongest.
It's open to interpretation at this point.
Okay. Elf in shiny gold armor. Why does that sound like the dude from the capital?
Head back to our ancestors.
No, it sounds like oh, you know the one that Talion was talking to outside? The one who was like walking us around and stuff. I may be losing my mind.
Bellius.
I think
Oh,
Bellius.
bells.
Like one of the Earthsworn,
Bellius
but
didn't have a
it
big
would have
book.
been ages ago. I don't know. Like, the big book makes me think Marcus. Because we've got his big book, haven't we? But
Yeah.
I've also got in my head that he's a gnome.
I must admit, I wasn't 100% sure Marcus was an elf, and I was looking back up through things to double check that.
Like, that is something Arri would innately know, I imagine.
He is my ancestor.
I guess you are a half-elf.
Yeah, but it was yeah.
I think it's Wicca throwing me
Yeah.
off.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I don't really quite understand how we're cousins, but somehow.
There's some mixed breeding in there somewhere.
Yeah.
An elf could have had two relationships with a human and a gnome.
Yeah.
He just ended up
Polynomy.
short, like I ended up short between a halfling and a human. And Verity is shorter than average for a human. Fair.
So yeah, is there anything else you would like to any kind of more information you'd like to try and glean out of an innocent mind of the child, or are you done manipulating children for today?
Can I just be like, oh, I remember a story about an elf, and like, is Marcus an elf?
Yes. Well, history books. All right.
Like,
so all
I imagine
history in
Wicked would have
regards,
told us.
Wicked didn't know.
Oh, okay. He would have told us then.
Yes. So all history books that reference Marcus were purged. The only history book that you have that kind of shows Marcus in a positive light is the War of Windward, which you acquired from Sawan Pati, who did not allude to his race. However, I suppose with your keen mind, do you read many books?
I read the entirety of that book while we were in the place.
What place?
The place where you were playing the music. I've forgotten the name of it. The thing in the bottom right of the main map. Maltokyo.
Maltokyo. Right, so that's not a Maltokyo thing, actually.
Okay. I did read the book because it's the book that Otti got.
Yes, well, there was one book that was entitled "The Autumn Invasion," that details how the demons came very, very close to Brine, and it was the actions of the Valor regiments that employed hit and run tactics to keep them at bay, and eventually they were rescued by the future disgraced knight, the Kingslayer, Sir Marcus Arbor. That book does reference him as a gnome knight.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but it could very well be the case that that book was very critical of Marcus, and as
elves
such,
aren't very friendly either. But elves aren't very well liked.
Yeah, so I mean, in that such, his race could have been changed to best go in line with the Purge's rules in that regard. So information about Marcus from any kind of source that regard a history book that you have read needs to be taken with a grain of salt.
Okay.
In
that case, then.
Yeah.
Then no. Like, I'll just be like, well, it's been lovely. I should probably go find my friends, though. I hope to see you around again. I'm not sure how long we're going to be here for.
Okay. It was nice meeting you.
It was lovely meeting you too. And keep practicing. You're getting amazing.
I will. I'll beat you. I swear it. I'm going to get that leaf.
I definitely believe you.
And it just goes completely wide. And he just goes, oh no, there are people over there.
And I'll just kind of, see you later. And I'll go walk away, try and find everybody else then. Just trying to think of, like, elf in gold armor?
So, Arrabella, if you were curious to learn more about Marcus, you do know of one individual in this, on this plane of existence, who knew him personally. Zara.
Can you do sending to a tree?
Not a tree, she's fine.
She lived inside the tree.
Yeah. But yeah, so if that's information you wanted to pursue, you would know where to start in that regard.
I probably would ask the guys first, just go back to them and be like, guys, do we know, have we heard of an elf in gold armor with a big book? Like, really good at reading omens.
Well, we'll get back to that. We'll go over to Rennas, Russ, and Otti now. So you guys make your way over to what effectively is a hollowed out, massive elder tree. But there are no leaves or anything like that. It's just a hollowed out trunk. That gives a good interpretation of the stars. Following directions and friendly, this way, that way sort of thing. You make your way inside to find a bunch of centaurs in large cloaks of anything, like kind of velvety, star-ridden cloaks. They have their hoods up. They look quite elderly. Many of them have got like large, like untamed beards, greying, but or maybe with some with grey streaks and the like. Mix max of ethnicities. Strangely enough, not many women in here. Actually, that has to be noted. There are one or two, but most you've seen a general equality in sense of how these people operate. But with the Sayers, it certainly feels more like a boys' club.
So yeah, I guess we'll approach. Hello, I'm hoping you can help us. Are you the Surefoots?
So you go up to one individual, more of the old elderly wizened one who seems a little bit more approachable, and sort of turns towards you. You almost feel the creakiness in his neck as he does so. Ah, strangers from a distant land, welcome. Have you come to know your future?
I've just come to discuss with you the wonders of the work you do here, interpreting the signs in the sky.
I knew you would say that.
I thought you might.
Our way. Excuse me. Our way is one of connection. So connected we are with the spiritual realm that we can see what others cannot. We can read what is unreadable. And to provide an answer to your next question, no.
You. I was trying to think of something really witty, and just my mind just went blank. I'm not even sure what my next question was. I don't really have a plan for such things. I'm more ad lib a bit, you see. Could you tell me what my next question was?
I have already answered that question.
Ah, of course. You can't tell me what the question was. It's not very useful.
But I knew that you were going to say that question, which is why the answer to it was no.
Very true. Thank you.
Now, I do apologize, but I have a great many omens to interpret. Is there anything I can be of assistance with, or may I get back to my duties?
Well, I'm just a little bit concerned, you see. I mean, I've been travelling the world a bit more lately, and it seems to be collapsing quite a lot. Quite a lot of bad things happening out there, and it seems like the sort of thing that, your omen should be showing you.
The omens have made no mention of this collapsing that you speak of. It is a pleasant time to be in Windward. The omens say that we must be here, but for what reason we have not been able to read.
Perhaps the omens wanted you to be here so that we could find you and seek your assistance.
That is a great deal of interpretation that is beyond your knowledge.
But that is why I'm offering it to you as an option. And then you could, with your knowledge, determine whether or not I am correct.
My omen reading does not work that way, young man.
I apologise. I do not understand it well. Nor do I understand an omen reading that tells you that all is well in Windward when it was literally exploding 2 weeks ago. Fires in the street, many people murdered. I don't think they're happy to be living there right now.
What street do you mention or speak of? We know no streets. We only know the hills and the skies, the trees, and the songs of the animals.
Well, I guess I'll let you get back to your omen reading and hope that your omens are a little bit more forthcoming shortly. I don't really know what else to say. I
I have a couple of questions.
And please speak,
I'll
sir.
just do that gobsmacked.
I was just wondering, since well, you can tell we are here of goodwill. We are here to benefit you and us, of course.
A grey cloud shined over the clear sky this morning, but we interpreted that a bringer of dire news was on the horizon.
I wave.
It was bad news, admittedly, yes, but it was news.
And our omens have come true. All is right with our clans.
Have you maybe considered? I can't really express just how dangerous the current situation is. Things could
What
go wrong.
danger do you speak of? The omens say nothing of this.
We are trying to stop it. We may be able to stop it.
Stop what?
The rising of a demon laureate of whom we shall not speak. Who?
Arrabella, I say.
No.
I'm sorry, but no one here has interpreted that meaning. I'm afraid that I just cannot believe you on that regard.
Have you
I mean-
maybe considered taking into account not just omens in the trees and the skies, but maybe history? Maybe omens from the past?
At this point, he immediately becomes like rather haughty towards you. He goes, "You ask us to disregard our very way of life,
No, I'm sorry.
as you should be. How insulting!"
Otti.
You're working with scraps, Otti. You're working
I
with
know,
scraps.
I know, and the questions I want to ask. So I'm just gonna just say, there's quite a lot of penis in here. Like, do women also have, like, females also have the omen viewing abilities?
An omen was deciphered many generations ago that for every 10 surefoots, one of them must belong to a female. And we have stuck true to this omen for generations and counting.
This is the part where you say there's 9 surefoots in the fucking room. So they never reach the 10, and therefore there is never a woman.
No, there's, to be fair, there's about 30 in here.
Okay.
And admittedly, like, there is about 30 or so, but now that you actually clock, there are 3 female surefoots in here.
Is there a ceremony or something so that the people that are going to be the next Surefoot are in a waiting line?
Well, anyone can become a surefoot, but there is a certain demographic we must reach. Until our omens say that we can bring in a higher ratio than what we currently do, unfortunately there are many female centaurs waiting in the wings, as it were, waiting for their spot. If we have enough males, then we can bring in another spiritually adept female. But until then, we are stuck in our fulfilling our tradition.
I take a bow and I say, thank you for your time. If you ever need anything, protection, place to stay, something goes wrong, just bear us in mind.
He smiles and he says, The omens and the night sky are all the protection we need. We know everything that can go wrong.
What if the omen was that you were to be wiped out? Would you not seek assistance then, or would you just
Well,
stop
of
and
course.
accept your fate?
Of course we would try to change that. We are
But the
a
omen
proud
said you're going to be
people.
wiped out.
If the omen told
You can't
to
go
run off a
against your
cliff,
omen, surely.
if the omen told us to run off a cliff, it doesn't mean we would. It's not a guidance. It is an interpretation. We interpreted that there would be maybe a calamity coming, and as such we would respond accordingly. It's not a guidance of what we should do. It is more a foretelling of what can happen and what should happen.
Okay, well, I hope an omen comes
At
to you
this point,
soon
he's like-
before it's too late.
At this point, he's like fully argumentative with you. So
Oh God,
I'm
yeah.
kind of just like, yeah, thank you for your time. Leave, move,
Okay.
get out, and try and push Rennas
Okay.
out there.
okay. So Rennas never were willing to back down from a good debate. Is ushered outside.
He is like being dragged out. Still facing the centaur going, come on.
I'll help Otti, but I'm a lot more amused by this than she is.
So Rennas and Russ and Otti make their way out of side of the Shorefoots, and sure enough, about an hour after you guys split up, you meet up back together again.
Well, my personal feelings, we let the fuckers die, guys. If they want to stand here staring in the fucking sky while a group of people literally tells them what is going on in the world, I'm done with them.
They
Yes, Verity?
I was going to say if I could have a conversation with Korgrin before we get back to it.
Yeah, of course. So, Verity, you find Korgrin before the others have come back, and so before you meet up.
I
with
mean, we
Arrabella
would have
and
been
the
walking back together.
rest- Yeah. So you're having a chat with Korgrin on the way back.
Yeah. But it's more like Korgrin turns to see me, like, have I been walking this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Korgrin just turns to see me smoking a pipe. I'm just like, Korgrin, I may have a plan.
I thought you were going to say I may have a problem.
Where did you get the pipe from, and who lit it, and where'd you get the tobacco?
Prestidigitation, I can summon things in my hand, and it disappears.
I sniff the smoke. Is it?
It's
I'm
not
trying to
real.
Yeah, so it's basically you
It
focus
smells-
on making the
It
the
smells
pipe.
like magical smoke.
Yes, like you focus on making the pipes. You
That's the
can't
best
focus on making the smells. It's like full of shite. Well, what's your plan?
It was a prop, Korgrin. It was a prop. Like, let me have my theatrics.
All right. Do you want to do over? Do you want to? I start
Yes.
walking away, and then I
To
look back
re-summon
at
my pipe, and I
Verity.
won't. Korgrin, I think I may have a plan.
Oh, what plan, Verity? Better.
Okay. Pipe disappears, moustache appears, and I
Oh.
start stroking it.
I just stroke.
So-
You can just stroke this if you want. Just
I'm not stroking you.
not me. Just the beard.
The beard is you! You are the beard! Stop
You're like
distracting me
90%
from my
beard.
plan telling! God!
Waiting.
So, these folks,
Uh-huh.
very, very focused about what's happening in the sky and using that as a sign.
Generally the sky, but I think it comes from everywhere, but sure. They like the stars a lot.
And, we could do this like a whole bunch of ways where we could, bring someone here, make something look like it's there.
Mm.
But like, what if we are the omen and they have yet to interpret us? What if I just fly up into the sky and I'm just like, woo, doing my thing and let them interpret that?
I mean, it's an interesting proposal. My only concern is that they seem to kind of look around to the world in a more...
And then we all just be everywhere then. Okay, if some of them fuck off into the forest, Arri's there. If someone decides to look to the roof of their buildings, Rennas is hopping them like freaking leapfrog.
Mm.
Why don't we just, like, for evening or something, separate and just put ourselves everywhere so then at least everyone is aware of it?
I get what you're
We want
saying.
our presence to be felt.
I do understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to get at, as in,
I
we
don't want to
are the
feel like-
omen, etc.
I just don't. I feel like I don't want to be deceiving these people. I just think they need to be able to see us. I don't want to trick them. I don't feel like that's right.
I understand.
Like, not here.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It doesn't exactly sit great with me either, but I've received a pretty clear message from my God that we've got to do what we've got to do to prevent Argoneth from rising. So, but that's just me, and I'm sure Otti might have concerns, and maybe Arri. I mean, she's not very big of manipulation and being manipulated, etc. Rennas, I'm sure he'd just he'd be paid to fuck off or whatever. But I get what you mean. We can ask. We can ask if a person's ever been interpreted as an omen before.
I don't know.
It's a nice idea. I know what you say. Like, us coming here was a warning of the impending doom. They chose not to heed us. They died, or they chose to heed us, and everyone lives and they fight with us, and we all save the day, and we all get drunk around a big campfire. We can check if it's ever happened. That might at least pay some credibility towards it.
I don't know. I just thought I'd pitch it to you before I wasted everyone else's time with it. But it's just what's been on my mind with these people.
Let's ask.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll not trot, because I feel like that's a poor choice of word. No canter, but jog.
Yeah.
I like jog.
Yeah.
Back towards the Pride Hoof that we spoke with.
Yeah.
And just a quick question. Has a person ever been interpreted as an omen? Has that ever happened before?
Yes, actually. The first foot is often selected by the Surefoots based on an omen around an individual. Our current first foot, Callus Sorsky, was selected in such a process.
So would it be Callus that would determine if another person was an omen, or was it just that Callus was chosen as the first foot by the Surefoots?
The Surefoots saw an omen emanating from Callus. He rose up one morning to go hunting. A unfortunately starved and deranged bear. He fought with it into submission, and as he did so, the sun shined through the trees down upon him, which emanated his axe. He rose it aloft, and the wind blew. The trees departed, and the sky was born, anew amidst his axe. And they interpreted this as one who soars for the sky, one who will lead us to a new future. And it is how he became the first foot.
And has he kind of led you to that future yet? Or are you living in it? Or?
He has been a fair and understanding leader. He is a man of the people. He listens. And he respects the way of the sayers. Surefoots. He listens to their interpretations, as any good leader should.
Right. What about any outsiders? Has that ever happened, or is that not really? Is that kind of a taboo?
It has never happened, but I can't see why it would not happen.
Fair enough. Well, thank you again. I'm going to go find my small friend if she isn't already with me. I think she might be
I was
taller.
literally floating behind you on the broom. Like as you were running, I was just like hovering.
You're quiet, though, hovering, unless you're talking at
Like
me.
an electric car.
Exactly. Or like I only know when there's a beeping.
Alright.
But yeah, just Verity. Oh, did you hear that?
No.
Good. Walking on.
So
just kind of
you
mentally
regale
ignoring
her.
nothing, yes.
So are you basically, with that information in mind, you guys now finally meet up again after seeing your respective people?
So yeah, I say fuck these guys.
Hey.
Well, because we've told them what's coming. And they're like, well, the sky hasn't said that. Okay, we saw that. We're telling you that.
I will admit there is some of the more perhaps close-minded individuals I've met, but maybe that's just their way of being, and maybe that's just the way it is.
Well, it can be their way of being until Edgar wipes them off the face of the earth.
I just turn to Otti and go, that's right.
They were very. I don't quite know the right word, but they were very stuck. They sound very stuck in their ways. They
Stubborn?
there was a massive penis party in that tent. There was like not very many females, but yeah.
Fillies.
Madam?
Fillies. I mean, if
Fillies.
they were horses, they'd be fillies. I don't know if that would actually be insulting to centaurs or not.
And that's why I was kind of
I-
like women was kind of offensive as well.
Well, that's why we're talking amongst ourselves.
Let's just say that we tried to warn them of what may be coming, and when I suggested that perhaps they consider the past as well as their omens in their leaves and in the skies, they they honestly got really offended and pretty much yelled at us. So I don't think they're changing.
Arri?
Do we know any elves in gold armor that have a big book?
I just...
Like the kids, they were saying that there was an elf that used to read the omens better than anyone, and they still tell his story. And he wore gold armor and had a big book, and he read the omens so well that like they gave him a horse. Like he could talk to them, and they gave him a horse, and like it made the centaurs more friendly with him because it was a not domesticated animal that had chosen him and was gifted to him. And I don't know,
I touch my hat and I'm suddenly wearing golden armor. Does anyone have a big book? We can make this work.
It does kind of sound like a wizard's with the book, and the fact that they could speak to them.
Like I was thinking it may have been Marcus, but wasn't Marcus a gnome? Like surely, he was a gnome. He was Wicca's kind of look at.
I mean, there's some mixed heritage there, because aren't you related to him somehow, Russ?
He must have been at least part elf because my mother, his daughter, was full elf.
Maybe he was an elf.
Is the G silent?
Yes.
I see.
It's embarrassing to know so little about my ancestors, honestly, but
I mean, I never even met my father, so, I get it.
Like I guess I could just be filming it in. It's just it sounded really familiar, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's got a pretty holy, or we have his, it's a pretty holy book, and if I'm understanding it right, it's kind of celestially holy-ish, radiant vibes going off it, etc.
would it have made him any good at reading anything in a divination kind of way? Or
I don't think any of us would be able to read it. It's a little bit beyond us.
Yeah, it's a bit beyond us, but I'm sure I've heard something about that. The book looks very wizard-like that we've got of Marcus's, which is in Korgrin's bag.
Verity's possession.
I mean,
Verity's.
who was it that that told you about the book? Could we maybe show them the book and ask them if it's the same book? Will they know?
I was a kid. Like I literally went to see the kids.
Like a
Wow.
goat, like a baby goat.
No, foals. Then
Oh, children centaurs, right?
Well,
Yeah.
presumably they
Oh.
heard that from their parents. Maybe we could find their parents and ask them if this was the book that the magical golden elf had.
oh, the girl who told me one of her dads. She may have more than one dad. I don't know. But they're a Surefoot. So
The
how
Surefoots don't
about
like me very much.
how about I take it? Or like the three of us take it. I assume you two haven't seen any Surefoots yet.
No, we
Looking at
spoke to the
Korgrin and-
pride hooves, pride feet, prime rib. We spoke with the prime ribs.
Pride
Sounds
feet.
delicious.
Woo! Little rainbow hooves. Yeah.
Nice.
Loud feet.
Like we could
If
go
anyone,
and see.
sorry, I was gonna say, if anyone does take the book, be extremely careful. I don't really trust these guys to do anything in our interest.
I understand that they've got their ways, and I understand it might come across as narrow-minded, but it's narrow-minded in it's just their culture. It was quite
Well-
an enlightening experience.
Well, if they
speaking with
saw
the
us,
Proudhoof.
if they saw the book as an omen that they were to receive a book, they wouldn't deviate from that.
No, but they might
It would be shortly
be-
followed by an arrow there by an omen there to receive an arrow to the throat. So we get the book back.
You, didn't
So, Verity, as you're the one who's in possession of the book, you know it is a very powerful, holy thing. That is something that you simply just cannot connect to. You do not have that sense of spatial awareness, that the wisdom required to even possibly interpret what the
I don't
book
think I have
says
the
or
book.
does. I'm fairly certain. I've got the books in your journal.
Have we lost it?
One of us just put it
Oh,
down somewhere and
I
lost
thought
it.
it was in everyone's journal.
No, it's just in
Then-
yours. You're the one in possession of it.
Then yes, I have the book.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Or Arri.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, I
that
think I
wise.
was told.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
just hold it. See if you feel connected to it. I don't know how
yeah,
magic shit works.
See if I feel connected to my little gnome grandfather's book.
Maybe no, maybe elf. Who knows?
Weren't we gonna? Never mind. Go on.
You offer Russ the book.
I mean, I think I was only holding on to it until we trusted Russ, which I think we're at that point now.
Are we? Are we really?
Otti isn't.
So I've got this patron. Yes. The last time we had a warlock with a patron, it wanted to get this book for nefarious purposes.
What, Steve?
Alright,
yeah.
bear with me a moment. I
Yeah.
believe we were on the topic of the book, and I just need to know whether or not Russ tries. Will Verity give Russ the book?
Yes.
I think that's Verity's choice.
No.
Hmm.
Yes, but we'd already said that's what we were doing.
Need confirmation from
I was
Verity.
going to say, I don't have any clue about your patron buddy thing. Do I?
You can. I imagine that you can tell I'm a warlock and all of that, like you. But you've not asked me whether, well, anything really. So could be good, bad. Could be another
I
Steve.
don't know if
could
I
be.
have any suspicions about you. I think I've seen you fighting against the urge to kill innocent people, so I don't think I'd have any problems giving Russ the book unless anyone stops me.
There was the moment with Nightbite.
Alright. Well,
Yeah.
Verity goes to hand Russ the book. Russ, do you take the book?
I'll take a deep breath and I'll look around at the others and I'll say, I hope nothing goes wrong with this. I'm sorry if it does. Keep an eye out.
Warlock said.
No, I mean it in a kind way, not in a I'm gonna fuck this up way. And yeah, I'd like to maybe sit down on the ground and just like place the book in my lap and hold it between my hands.
Alright. So as you take the book, you immediately feel strange. There is a connection there, an instant connection to this book. Your entire world is opened up to a limitless realm of possibilities, and just at the moment where you are on the cusp of actually truly realizing what this is, it is disconnected from you, and you feel nothing. The book's glow goes away and becomes cold in the hands, and you feel as if the book itself is closed off from you by its own choice.
Okay, I'll just go. Shit. I'm sorry. I thought I felt something. I felt so much. I felt something really intense, and then it all just stopped. It's cold, unfriendly. I don't know what's happening, but it's gone. Something was there, but
Weird magic shit.
You feel a shiver go up your spine, Russ. Almost as like a hand is placed on your shoulder, and you just get this whisper in your ear. Read it.
ooh, that's not good.
He's your patron.
As you respond to that, the book still being in your lap, almost you feel like it disconnects even more, almost as if it's guarding itself. And you get the feeling in that moment that whilst you are so heavily connected to this horse, the book rejects that. There seems to be something that makes them incompatible on a primal level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely stay. I'll stay with the team's priorities, and I'll figure out whether I'll give Cracks a sneaky peek later. But now is not the time anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I'll really tell anyone. I'll just say, maybe it'll come back. I lost it, but maybe I can get it back. But it
Here's
doesn't
hoping.
look like it's happening anytime soon.
I look down at your hands and realise that you haven't lost it. The book's still in your hands. I was like, look at you, look at the book, look at you. You haven't lost it. It's there.
I've not lost the book. I just lost my connection with it.
Ah. Okay. I think.
So, how do you guys want to continue?
I mean, the plan could still stand. We could see if they recognise the book, and if they do, at least that gives us some credibility. Unless they think we stole the book. Many ways this could go.
We don't know it's the same book.
Well, that's what we want to find out. We want to see if they
Yeah.
recognise it.
Well,
We
I feel like the three people that haven't pissed off the prophets of the clan should probably go and find out. But
Okay, I'll come with you.
Shall we
So
take
Rennas,
the book
about that.
to see if that helps? Or
No,
Pardon?
that's fine.
What was that, Arrabella?
shall we take the book, see if that helps?
Yeah. If you don't mind, Russ. I'm open.
go for it.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll put it on my hand. I'll see Korgrin's got it and I'll be like, "Yep, I've got some magic, not enough to deal with that."
Okay. So, with the book in hand, Members of the party make their way back over to the Shorefoots. Move inside to find effectively the sausage party for yourselves. There is a great disproportionate number of men here compared to women. And you can see there seems to be an elderly centaur who seems to be in a bit of a foul mood, and he's just kind of
foul.
It looks like he's looking into this kind of. He's looking into like a bowl of leaves with a bit of a huff, almost as if he looks flustered, like he got into an argument recently.
What, Arri? What did you say the girl's name was?
Oh, was it Felicity?
Aye, that sounds right.
No, I'm asking Jack.
It was.
Yes.
I'm just asking you as Korgrin, don't worry.
Up on the spot, yes.
I knew a Felicity. It sank in like, easy as piss. Excuse me. We're looking for a Felicity's dad.
There's a silence in this area
I'm hidden at the moment.
Just sounds
Just
creepy.
throwing that out there.
until a middle-aged centaur man, big puffed up chest, with his like cloak just around him. He puts his hood down. You can sort of see like a blackish like hair, bit tussles, and he goes, "Has my daughter done something to offend you? Has she done something? Is she okay?"
She's fine. She's with her friends still playing doing archery. She told me a story, and I went and told my friends, and we figured that we would ask you about if you recognize this or if it seems to be
Why are you talking with my daughter?
because they were doing archery and I'm an archer. I was curious how their bows were.
Make a persuasion roll.
Like, technically, that's the reason why I went to them, because I could.
She was grooming the children. Oh no.
So
She
he
was.
So he doesn't say anything out loud. But you get that look of just, the fuck are you talking to my kid for, sort of thing.
Like, to be fair, does he know that I'm definitely not a child myself?
He seems to be aware that you're a halfling, yes.
Okay.
She's clearly a child soldier.
However, he just goes, my apologies. What is it that you wish to show me?
What color is the divine plate?
Is it
on the is it as it is on the picture?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So it's kind of gold. So I'll just little thaumaturgy, make it shine a little bit more golden maybe. And just we were wondering if this book looked familiar to you.
Right, so for those not in the know, who can't remember what the book actually looks like, so it is a orange/auburn like book. Yes. At the front of it, there are 6 points, like arrows made of solid gold that go like up and to the corners, and there is a solid gold ring around it with a greenish like gem in the very center of it. The book is bound by what's it be like a really like well-made kind of leather hooked in with a golden bind sort of thing. Like everything about this book just kind of screams divinity and power, sort of thing. So as you hold it up, Korgrin, it is returned with that faint golden glow about it, and pretty much all the Shorefoots stop doing what they're doing to stare at it. That is the divinity book.
So you do recognize it?
Was lost. The time and the heavens. How did you come by it?
We found it in Jarashjakai, in the wreckage of family ancestors' home, just kind of left there.
How clandestined. What? And the Shawfoots start staring at each other and goes, "This is a sign. This is a sign. A sign. The book of divinity has returned to our realm. They are the bringers of change and news. No, they are the bringers of a proclamation. No, they are the bringers of a prayer from the gods
Can I-
themselves." They start debating amongst themselves about what this means.
I was going to say,
Yes.
could I use thaumaturgy to throw my voice into the crowd, sounding like one of the old men, being like, maybe we must listen to his words, his message. I think we should hear him out.
Make a deception check with advantage.
Pretty red guy to me.
Look at his beard! It's gold!
Make me. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find deception. There you are.
Charisma, you're fine. And you had
Advantage.
advantage, and you didn't even need it.
You do have advantage, and
Come on, 31. Ah.
Nah, that's my teeth.
as you say this into the crowd, Verity,
Obviously, I'm
What?
not going too over the top. I just want to see the idea they want to listen to him.
some of the centaurs that are closest to you do stop to sort of, it's like, who said that? Who said that? But then, unfortunately, the rest of the argument is kind of drowned out a little bit, and you get the feeling that could have worked. It just maybe it needed a little bit more oomph to it. They're currently arguing and debating amongst themselves about what this omen, what this sign means.
If
Okay.
we bring salvation,
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, what if we bring salvation?
So you say that, and it's completely drowned out by the
Right.
level of arguing being done by the Shawfoots at the moment. It's basically a shouting
This
match at the
tent,
moment.
what building was it? Was it a tent or was
So
it a barn?
It's a hollowed out tree, so it's quite large. It's
Ah.
like a large elder tree that can house all of these people inside of it, and you can see the sky from inside. But it's kind of like dim light on the inside of it.
But it's just kind of an echo chamber right now,
Yeah, pretty
filled
much.
with old man voices.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm taking a look into my thing.
No. Clearly, they're here to change our dietary requirements.
And hear about your car's extended warranty.
Okay, hold on. Let me take a look what I've got here.
Can I just shout
Light.
that we're here to save your goddamn lives?
Go ahead and make
What
a.
if
I want you to make a persuasion roll, but use your Constitution modifier because this is quite literally how loud you can shout. In this regard, so if you're
Little
proficient,
person syndrome should be fine.
if you're proficient, you can add your bonus. But yeah, use your Con modifier for this persuasion roll.
It's going to be a d20 plus 1.
There you go.
So, yeah. Oh, 3! Woo!
She squeaks this out, and it's completely drowned out by all these old men.
Kind of look at Korgrin because I know he can amplify his voice. I'm like,
Verity, were you going to do or say something, or do you want me to take the floor again?
Like, I mean, I imagine the rest of the party's outside at the moment. You just hear all this shouting and screaming coming from inside this massive tree.
Oh God, they've done a worse job than you did. They're all arguing now.
I mean, I can go and fix it if you want.
Like a stampede in there.
Great at fixing things.
Yeah, no,
Very.
stay where you are.
Verity,
Okay.
were you gonna say or do something, or like, did you have anything planned?
You are muted if you did not know.
I was just about to unmute myself. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And don't say, "Oh no, Ellie."
Oh no.
But I'm trying to think of a plan.
Oh no!
That's fine. I can just thaumaturgy myself if you want.
I'm trying to see if there's any way, but because I still have the unicorn hair, so I don't think that will help.
I
Because
feel
that's
like,
kinda like,
at
you know-
this point the message has been gotten across. We just need to actually convey the message we want to say, you know?
Thaumaturgy is worth it.
Alright. Thaumaturgy. And I just, at the top of my voice, thaumaturgy, shout, salvation. Just the one word. Cut through the crowd.
Make a persuasion roll at advantage.
I'm not good at the persuading stuff, so this'll be fun.
Oh,
14, I mean...
it
for a
shouts
0, it's okay. It's okay for a 0 modifier.
the immediate centaurs like around you, like, and then somebody just goes, "No, you're completely wrong about this. It means this," and they just go back to the fighting. You need something more, you think?
Right, okay. What about
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
Fireball in the sky.
Hand of Steve.
We need their attention, right?
Yeah.
We need their attention, and we want to use the word salvation.
I feel like that's a pretty good conveyor of what we're trying to do, save the world and all that.
Okay, so from where I've been hiding around the outskirts, I'm gonna try and like wiggle my way into the middle, dodging like horse dongs and shit. I'm gonna squeeze onto my broom. I'm gonna take the orb of oop.
Oh, right, the daylight orb. Yep.
Yep.
So all these men that are walking around like this in this fucking hollow ass tree, they just gonna go, ah!
It's too bright.
I'm gonna
Turn
I'm
off
going
the
to
sun!
fly up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fly up towards the sky, and I'm just using thaumaturgy as well. Like first, I'm gonna go and oop
And
with
she
the orb.
I realized I still have Domino's cookies.
And with thaumaturgy, I'm going to be like, salvation, you dum-dums!
Fair.
Make a persuasion roll at advantage.
Okay.
Come on, person that's good at persuasion, fucking do something.
No, that's me and Rennas.
And I
Verity's pretty
stayed
good
away
at
because I pissed him off last time.
True, but that's just rich.
My persuasion. Although I usually roll shit on persuasion and better on deception.
It's fine. I believe in
Minimum
you.
27.
The gods.
Oh, dang it.
A
Roll an 8.
Say the
a
results of
lot
that, yeah.
of
Yeah.
a lot of centaurs in the center. They just look up and just go, oh, "A new omen. What does it mean? It means it's going to be a sunny day tomorrow. No, it means this." And they start yelling at each other again.
Did anyone tell us about the women who aren't?
They are actually part of the fighting. They're as being as loud as the rest of them.
Can I
have to
go
be
and,
excluded because there's not enough men?
Pardon?
Like, have we been told about the rules that it's like, for every 10 men, there's allowed to be one?
Yeah, you have been told about that. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna like heavily roll my eyes, fly out of the tree, get to Otti eventually. I'm just gonna be like, Otti.
As you're flying out, the orb is still shining. So as you fly at the top of the tree, you are flying with a shining orb that shines out, that everyone in a very large area can see this beacon. And those of you on the outside can see that the Centaurs going about their days stop see this light shoot out of the center of the
It's gonna be like,
shore.
Well, I wanna look at nudge Rennas and run away, ditching Otti, and just run towards it.
I guess I'll follow.
And you can see the other centaurs just like stop. Some of them just drop baskets, and they just go, "An omen from Shorefoots. Come, gather. Let us see what they proclaim." And the centaurs around you immediately start moving with you, even faster than you, to sort of like crowd around the giant tree where the Shorefoots are currently debating on the inside of it. As the light goes away, as you up it away, Verity, and you fly out. And where do you go?
Like I'm trying to like put it away, like you know when your phone starts ringing publicly. And
Yep. So now you can see above the. So you're above the tree at the moment. You can see now immediately all these crowds of centaurs are coming from the woodworks, from the tree lines, to gather around this massive tree.
This isn't what I wanted.
It's a real omen,
It's kind
man.
of what you wanted there.
It's exactly what we wanted.
It's what you were describing earlier, just with addition of light orb.
Well, like that, but with the intention of them knowing what we meant.
So, Otti, as I was doing, you walked inside to see all these old men and women and free women, just shouting amongst themselves. Best you can glean, they're debating what apparently seems to be two interpretations from two different omens in the last 5 minutes or about.
Do we see Korgrin and...
Yeah, he's there.
What the fuck's going on?
We made their brains break. They're currently interpreting both omens that we've accidentally given them.
I thought these guys were supposed to be like the fountain of all knowledge for these fucking centaurs, and they're just sat there bickering.
This is their knowledge fonting.
I actually want to do something stupid. I think I wanna throw extra confusion into the mix, and I'm gonna cast fairy fire in the center of the centaurs and just make everything sparkle.
Okay, I'm just going to make a quick roll because it's technically a dexterity saving throw.
Not sure how that helps us, but it looks pretty.
I didn't mean it to be an attack of any kind.
Well, it's just a thing that happens anyway.
Yeah,
So as you do that, they immediately all start glowing their respective outlying colours as sparkles start immediately sparkling around, and they like stop their debating just to see them glow.
In that moment of silence, I will yell out, "Can we have a civilized discussion here?"
Make an intimidation check.
I'll see, I can do those.
In theory, so can I.
I know the fact he's got a crackled voice at the moment as well, so he's
Yeah.
like, I can intimidate.
Scary Rennas.
25.
The centaurs stay silent and they turn towards the party with wide, glowy eyes.
And glowy bodies.
Yes.
Korgrin, would you like to take it from here?
What if we offer salvation?
Salvation?
Yes.
From what?
For the free peoples of Windward, of course.
We are not of Windward.
You are on these lands, no?
Yes.
Then you are Windward.
It doesn't make sense, but he does.
And not just
Yeah,
the
I get that.
Centaurs, but the dwarves, the elves, all peoples of Windward.
And that is what the holder of the book proclaims.
Salvation against Argoneth, against the Mad King and his war that he brings
Tyranny.
upon everyone. The tyranny across these lands that he wishes to inflict upon you, on the other races, everyone that doesn't bow to him.
And what of the one that speaks with the children of our clan? What is thou'st interpretation?
Thou'st.
Like, push Arri forward.
What? My interpretation
What is her interpretation?
of the omens. Like, we're here to give you freedom. Like, this is Windward. You are Windward. You are on this land. You are a part of what deserves to be here. We're here to help protect you from evil. We're here to help keep your children free. We're here to
And-
help keep your children alive.
And what of the orc that has burst into these chambers and brought forth the shouty one? What is her interpretation?
That you're in.
Turn to Otti.
That you guys are in danger, and that we're here to help.
And what of the one that is plagued by darkness in his eyes and means to murder us with his presence? What is his
I do not. Oh, sorry, I just assumed you're talking about me.
Are you referring to me?
Yes.
Okay. I think a lot of us know just how devastating things could become if we do not act now. We are here, we have come to guide, to help, and, like Korgrin said, to save those we can.
Just hello.
And the one who previously got into an argument with Rennas and says, and what about the one who disrespects and disregards our very culture? What does he have to say about this omen?
I feel that might need repeating, just the last. Rennas was MIA.
No, I wasn't. It's fine. First of all, that I don't disrespect your culture at all. I just don't understand it. But that we are definitely here to offer freedom and help. We don't want anyone in the subjugation of evil demons summoning madmen. Why would anyone want that to happen? We are here to help you all.
Good job.
Thank you.
Everybody except Verity, I want you to make a group persuasion roll, please.
Haha. Uh-oh.
I was gonna say, like, as everyone's talking, I would have flown inside because I'm looking for Otti.
Oh, 27. What a surprise.
27
I
was
would say you come in at the very end.
It's the minimum I can roll.
Haha. Can I guidance? Or would that be sus right now?
That would be sus, yeah.
Shame. But Verity, the floor is kind of yours.
It's funny how it's me and Rennas coming out on top.
Fuck! Yeah, with your 17s. I got a 0. Otti's got
Is
a
it me?
-1. Yeah, it's you.
You know what, Verity, go ahead and roll because this is part of your actions have done this as well, so.
Roll good, girl.
Don't tell me the result. Oh, fuck, it was still at advantage. Like,
20's and all. 20's alright, though. It's better than a
It's better than a 3.
6, or an 8. Yeah. Basically, you know, the
oh, I
sub
was gonna
10s.
say something if I came colliding in, but no. Well.
Did you guys just see that? She just leant across me to start giving me a bit of the old, why
Then she realised you're on camera.
Yeah, then she realised on camera and went away. I was thinking
No.
we're about to go on Pornhub. Whoa.
No, I thankfully missed that.
Ask it to happen again.
If it helps, I imagine Beth probably missed it too.
Okay. There's silence. from the Shorefers. And you hear a clopping of feet behind you. Turn around, see Callus Sorsky standing there. I would think that the interpretations are very clear. The Book of Divinity has returned. The ally of the Centaurs has chosen his acolytes, and they bring tidings of warning. Our way of life is threatened. What do the omens say? The Shorefoots look amongst each other for a few minutes. They turn back, kind of like a sense of unified nodding, until one of them looks like more a respected one, kind of speaks up and says, "The omens say that calamity is upon us. Ill tidings come, but in it a beacon of hope. A shining of light in an otherwise unforeseeable future. These people hold our salvation." Alice nods to them, runs towards the rest of you. You are the edicts of our salvation. And we shall follow your lead. We will ride with you and change the course of our fate together.
We thank you for your support.
I'll just try and bow in respect.
It's meant to be an awkward smile, like he.
Centaur clans will fight with you, as per the omens dictate. We bring 4,000 to your cause.
There is a more immediate issue you could help with, if possible.
Speak.
The brave dwarves of Philidurzan are currently under siege by the king's soldiers. The druids have already pledged their support, and we are the closest forces to them. We were hoping with your help we would be able to go and break the siege, and the dwarves could also join our aid.
I would kind of intervene at that point and just say, it's my understanding that we are the descendants of the Platstorms that you once fought alongside many centuries ago.
Rennas looks confused. Are we?
No, the dwarves. The dwarves.
I know, I'm sorry.
I know, but to be fair, Rennas wouldn't know. They're just...
Then we shall honor this ancient friendship and ride to the aid of your brothers and sisters. We will be ready to march within the day.
I think the druids needed 2 days to get here, did they? Just out of character, I think that's what they said before.
I think it was 3, but I think we spent 2 getting here. Because I think we did 2 long
were they
rests.
following straight away? Okay,
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, that makes sense. We'd have been screwed if we hadn't got the Centaurs' help.
Yeah, this is why the entire plan hinged on the Centaurs. Am I understanding? Is that right, Jack? It was 3 days and we spent 2 traveling on the back of the Elks, I want to say.
That's right, yes. The Elks, who you no longer have because the Centaurs released them.
Yeah, they were rounded up and went,
we were
"Fuck
bad
off."
for riding on the Elks. Naughty saviours of mankind.
Windward kind.
Yeah.
Don't assume my race.
Or gender.
Which
is if we've done both with mankind. I'm sorry. Okay. But this is to go back into the stream. This is fantastic news. We really help. We really appreciate your support, and we know that we will be able to make a great difference to this world.
I appreciate that my people may be culturally different to yours, but I am sure their gratitude for this assistance towards you will be eternal.
He nods in respect and bows, as do the Surefoots. Eventually, you all go outside, flanked by Alice. Yep.
I just wanted to say, as we leave, I want to say, so, we're an omen. Do, 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 do. The
Oh,
song
dear.
from him.
Is that the Prodigy? I think it's the Prodigy.
Yes. Do, 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 do.
I wish I wasn't musically illiterate so I could know what you're actually going on about.
It's
It's fine. Verity's just created dubstep.
Yep.
No! Windwood was pure!
This universe is fine without that.
Fine. Argoneth can now take over. It's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Dubstep, raise it to the ground.
I love that part of Verity's magic is that she's able to perceive and infect us with things such as dubstep.
Well, it's because
He-
every time someone said omen, the song just kept popping into my head, so I just...
There you go, Jack. That's for you to
That's
be musically enlightened, while Meg is BRB.
I don't
Alright.
know, looks creepy.
What
So-
you do with this information's up to you.
So as you guys move outside towards the various clans or centaurs that have gathered outside there, Alice gives his proclamation that the centaurs are to go to war to fight alongside these individuals who have brought an omen of great calamity but light within the darkness, and that they hold the edict of their salvation. And there is all, strangely enough, there's almost an instant acceptance amongst this, especially as they're backed by the Surefoots. And over the course of the next day, there is a great hustle and bustle within the clans as they move to arm themselves, to prepare themselves. The non-combatants are whisked and ushered away to leave these lands, whilst those of fighting age and are able are prepped for war. In that course of that day, I present to you guys now a choice. If you are to gather the allies that you have and march on the Royal Second Army to release Fili-Durzan from its siege, this would be the opening declaration of armed conflict. And the king and his forces will move accordingly. If you wish to continue, the preparation for this war will end, and the real war will begin.
There was definitely more we wanted to do, but I still feel that we need to free the dwarfs, and they've been trapped in their little... I mean, I say free them, they live underground anyway, but, you know.
How... There was a time scale, wasn't there, for the dwarves?
They are in a stalemate at the moment. They're trapped on both sides, so they can hold their own for a good while. You know, their defenses are strong. The Royal Second Army can't move in, and neither can the Duragard. They're like Fili-Durzan's wars have held forever, but at the same time they are boxed in and they can't get out. So that's why they wanted, if you could focus on one side, and they would pincer from the inside. If they could remove the enemy from one side, then they can gather their forces, turn the other way, and deal with the other side themselves, and then fully free themselves for the war.
There is part of me that feels we should at least try and speak to Ivotidrex. a name that is something like that.
Evocative. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel that his help to get the rest of the dragons aboard would just be game changing. Whether we can or not is another thing altogether. But it's got to be at least worth talking to them. And I really did want to try and find those spawning pits up in the frontier where the Luckstone is supposed to be. But happy to.
The frontier on our side would be a good shout as well.
The
Yeah.
territories will effectively be independent factions until you deal with them. It's the third-party individuals that you might not have time or ability to get to them, as it would be it would change the pace of the game. And
So, by third party, you mean people like the Goblinoid Alliance, the Yenogu Crusaders, possibly even the Brennick Coalition?
No, anybody who is basically a small token, that's a third party. The
Okay.
Volra Primes, the Brennick Coalition, they are the territories.
Okay.
So obviously there are quite a few more factions whom are there that you cannot see at the moment, but
Yeah.
they're there. I don't want to say they're cut off. It'll be more of a case of you would be very hard pressed to actually find time to go deal with them.
We were also asked to try and take out Goliath beforehand, if possible.
However, I'm not being funny. It took us last minute to try and find out a plan for this place, so I don't know how we're going to do that.
We had a plan. I just thought we just found a book in our bag and thought, oh, this will do.
Don't know what happened. I spoke to kids. You all made fun of me for it, and they gave us the answer.
I did not make fun of you for it, just to clarify. By you all, please exclude me.
Okay, you all but
did.
Rennas made fun of me for it.
Hey,
I didn't either.
Less than half the party made fun of you.
I know.
Really,
It was mainly the
Korgrin
DM.
made fun of you.
It was the DM that made fun of me. But yeah, like the kids don't have concept of secrets, and if
No,
anything,
I
they
like
hear
it.
a secret, they want to let everybody know the secret because like, oh my god, it's a secret.
Yeah.
And here I was teaching kids how to throw knives.
Yeah, not a good little sport.
So
That's
it's
why I
up to
try to
you.
get them in the tippers.
It is entirely up to you guys.
How out of character? What would happen if we had to like stand down the Centaurs and that? Now would they be pissed off that we're like, we're going to war? No, actually, wait a couple of days.
They'll follow your lead, so they'll go where you tell
Okay.
them to. But if you don't tell them to go anywhere yet, they'll just stay here.
I feel like we should tell them to go somewhere.
But they're in the perfect position to help us out when we do go to Felidurzen. Sorry, George, I'll stop speaking.
No, I'm just thinking because like I can teleport us to Felidurzen, so if we want to go in, check in with them, just be like, hey, we've got people ready on the other side, but once we make this move, the king's going to start his first move, and we just want to make sure we have extra preparation. So that way we're not kind of like leaving them in the dark.
Ascending seems like it would accomplish that.
Yeah, I was given like permission to breach the sending seal, the divination magic seal, so I can just sending back and forth if you want.
Yeah, I just think that would be like a good step because we don't want them to sat there thinking, oh, they've forgotten about us, or oh, they've got this thing, but they're not doing anything about it.
Okay.
You just want to be like, sit tight. How long do you think your resources are going to last out?
Felidurzen has allied with you. They just can't fight with you whilst they are boxed. So
yeah. But if they're not going to be wiped out, because that's what I suppose.
Yeah,
I should apologize in this regard. I was under the impression that if we didn't act soon, then the Royal Second Army was going to go in and wipe out the dwarves of Felidurzen.
There is always that possibility, but you also know that Felidurzen is a strong city-state, and it will take more than a simple siege to possibly take them down. They'll need time and effort, and even if they breach the walls,
so basically, as long as we don't leave them as the last thing we do, they'll be fine.
Maybe.
Okay, if as long as we don't spend more than a month without helping them, they should be fine.
They should possibly.
If we go on holiday out of Wynwood now, then yes, we're kind of to blame.
Yeah. Okay. because there's the frontiers,
Mhm.
obviously kind of tippers. There's
The dragon.
which one, Goliath or Avotadrex?
Both.
So
The ally dragon or the enemy dragon?
But we need to get rid of the
I
enemy
feel-
dragon.
There's also the White Horde, which is the what's it dragons.
Yeah. And there's also the elves in Baronzala, which were kind of just like, it's okay, we'll keep you safe. Locking the door and the million bolts and keys.
I
and
thought you were going
things.
to have a rave with them then, to be completely honest.
Oh no, the
Um,
dubstep
I was
returns!
about to say, there's just like 3 holes in the mounting, and they're all like flashing lights. That's a wicked mountain I got there.
writing
Just Verity
on
with
the
her orb again.
wall.
Yeah,
It
just
won't
turning
go
off
away.
oop over and over again.
Oop, 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 oop.
Because so there's Frontier Collective, obviously big. There's Brinic Coalition, obviously big. Goblinoid Alliance, we kind of said, if we dealt with Vorod, they might get on board. There's the Myconid colony, and there's the Stone Lords, and all that good jazz. And then there's the ones we don't know about. So
Okay, if we only had to pick 3, what would the priorities be?
My priority would be spawning pits and Luckstone, because the Luckstone gets the tippers on board, and dealing with the spawning pits is likely to get the Free Frontier collective on board. So that's almost a 2 birds, 1 stone kind of job.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one. And then I'd also say the dragons. As in Avotadrex and that. And then there was also, I thought it was important for us to go to Fort Might for some reason.
it kind of is, because they're right on our doorstep. But Fort Might is a king's. That would be something we'd wipe out rather than recruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but it would probably be, the step on the way to Jarashakai. That would be like the first major battle would be taking Fort Might, and then that would give us a stronghold to be able to launch an attack against Jarashakai, I guess.
Okay.
Well,
I feel like
and
we should
Vorod.
take out Vorod at some point too, considering that is.
I was thinking we'd take out.
Yeah,
I was thinking we'd take out Vorod before Fort Might, to be honest.
Yeah. I would
Just to clarify, Vorod, or the Vorod Primes, which is the name of the faction within Vorod, is not necessarily allied with the king. As when you first started recruiting, that the king has become completely paranoid that his territories are going to rebel against him, which includes Vorod, which is why he's going about recruiting all these third parties alongside you guys.
So if we wiped out the Valenstar company that's there, potentially we can get them on board. And I've got a bone to pick with Valenstar as well, so
There's no guarantee that she's still there though, because I remember having a conversation about this before, because we were talking about what's his face, the orphan
Garrick
lady's
Dublanc.
brother. Because we were talking about that, and how he's kind of. It's a bit weird, that situation, because she's lovely, and it's like, is he being possessed, sort of thing? Is he like raised from the dead? Because he's kind of all dark and mysterious at the moment.
No, I just think it's a cunt.
Fair.
Do we
we
know roughly, Jack, in turn? I know, I don't know if this is matter or what kind of assistance we'd be getting with the dragons. Obviously, if we got Avotadrex on board, he's kind of quite. He's like an ancient dragon. He's quite powerful. He's kind of.
He's known as the Peace Scriber. There are only very few ancients in the world, and whenever we thinks of an ancient color, there are certain things that come to mind. If you're interested in trying to recall the ancient dragon names, go ahead and make a history check for me, please.
We do have a dragon book.
That remains the dragons that are in Windward. This is a world thing.
That's fair.
One. Okay. So, Korgrin, you're a little bit more travelled than the rest, except for Russ, who's been around. When you think of ancient dragons, there's a few that come to mind that sort of like are the pinnacle of their colour, shall we say. Vortigrex, of course, is an ancient silver dragon, also known as the Peace Scriber. You have heard of Haghoto, Protector of the Sky, an ancient gold dragon. He is rumoured to be somewhere out in the northeast, beyond Windward's borders. When you think of pure destruction, you think of Ninjakronth, the Eternal Fire, the ancient red dragon. When you think of sort of the black dragons, you think of Yorvad, Lord of the Black.
Yorvad, Yorvad.
Giorvad.
Thank you.
You don't know exactly where he exists, but you know that this creature feasts and gorges beyond what most dragons do in their lifetimes. You also know of Zeiss, the Valorous, an ancient bronze dragon. Of course, you are aware of Aurora, the Freezing Embrace. And then, when you think of blue dragons, the first thought is obviously Vectra, but then you think, what gives the blue dragons their feared name? And then you think of Zegus, Destroyer of the Heavens. And that's all that you can recall with your history check.
So there was silver, gold, red, black, bronze, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And if Korgrin had to guess, kind of traditional metallics good, chromatics bad?
Yes.
Okay. So it would be unlikely to get Ninjakronth, Yorvad, obviously Aurora.
I well thought Aurora would join us.
Yeah, no, to be fair, there's only three, so the three chromatics we wouldn't be able to get those on board.
Unlikely that they would join
Okay.
the side that wants to save the world.
It would be more. There's the potential for them to form. I think in the war there was like the Chromatic Alliance or something like that. There was the Chromatic.
Previously in the last war, the Chromatic Dragons did in fact
fight for Argoneth.
Argoneth, yes.
Thought so.
Actually, how Goliath made a name for himself.
And Goliath isn't ancient yet. He's just a very powerful,
powerful adult dragon who's on the verge of anciency.
Okay. Would it be likely that if we recruited, silver, gold, and bronze, that we would get the adult, the young that go along with them, or would it just be we'd get those three ancients?
You do not know.
Okay.
I feel the ancients. I feel they would at least take that on board that they joined us.
I feel that makes a pretty big difference, though, in terms of if we're just looking at this from a war asset perspective. There's a really big difference between three ancients, which are, incredibly powerful beings.
History is littered with tales of entire armies that mobilize to fight off a single ancient dragon. They themselves are exceptionally powerful to the point where they cannot be defeated by conventional means.
Good job with unconventional.
But what I just mean is, there's the difference between three ancients and 100 adults on top of.
Very true. You do not know, and that is a gamble you have to take.
Gambler at heart. Ottatrix is still my my second priority.
There's so much that we wanted to do.
Yeah. Honestly,
Dark.
before going to the Druid clans, well, actually, I think it was before going to Bliss Manor, we were supposed to go and see the dragons. Well, see the dragons, that makes it sound like we're children. We're supposed to, before Verity got kidnapped, we'd agreed to go and see the silver dragons.
God damn Verity, ruining it all.
Oh, don't bully Verity like that. She's already bullied herself enough.
I'm not bullying Verity. Jesus Christ, she'd murder me.
And I think more importantly, we have to go and sort out the Silent Sisters as well.
Yes, we do need to go back and possibly greater restoration them and see if that fixes broken memories.
Okay, so altogether we have Tippers and the Frontier. So they were going to be kind of the two birds, one stone, with the Luckstone and the one stone, the spawning pit.
But it's also like a wild goose chase because we've got no idea where the spawning pit is, and the Frontier is a big place. So swings and roundabouts.
The Frontier may have an idea. Like the Collective may have an idea.
Yes, we haven't actually been to the actual Frontier Collective yet.
No, we've also got the Stone Lords and the Myconid colonies. Stone Lords were... It wasn't just stone giants, was it, Jack? It was like stone giants, hill giants.
You're thinking the hegemony.
Possibly.
You are aware of the Stone Lord because what's his name from Arrabella told you about him and how he's basically his, like, kind of older brother, and he was like kind of displaced from the whole thing. So
yeah.
So it's not. It's just a clan. It's just a potential clan of stone giants,
which could lead on to other giants because the hegemony is connected with each other.
Okay. Obviously, there's the Myconid colonies, which were kind of necromancer fungus people.
Yep.
Summarizing. Yeah. We're going to the Fungin, guys. There's the Vorod Primes, which is a potential rebellious state who have been under Garrick Dublanc and the Valenstar Company to make sure they stay in line. Plus, there's the whole, abduction shit that they've got going on with potential allies we would find underground in dungeons and cells and shit. The Brinnick what is it, Collective or Coalition? Coalition. Which it was the
you are aware
that Rennas nearly killed.
Yeah, they were pretty much already on side, were they not?
No, they're a split faction.
There's the Brian Homeguard that's on side. The Brinnick Coalition is the collection of all the landlords in the Brine lands.
It's Ogden and someone else.
Yeah, they're currently in a state of civil war. Because one faction wants to side with the king, one faction doesn't want to side with the king, and one faction is kind of like in between it all, really. So it's like a three-way fight going on at the moment.
What was it? We were lucky that someone tried to assassinate that woman a while ago.
Beatrice is the one. Beatrice is definitely the one that doesn't want to side with the king.
Yeah.
Ogden is the one who wants to side with the king, and Half-Trey is on the fence about the whole thing.
Yeah, but Ogden was also like a drunken bellend, wasn't he? He could be convinced or assassinated very quickly.
You bribed him previously.
Yeah, I reckon we so we get him to switch.
Tied up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's what I mean. He wouldn't take much.
There's also then the elves, which are in Baronzala.
Yep.
Which we pretty much have. We just need to go and get, but we don't know numbers.
You have the key.
Yeah.
To get inside a special vault in Baronzala, which apparently holds the special code that you need to activate the teleportation circle in the August Monastery.
Yeah. So there's that, but we don't have numbers, so we don't know what that would be like. But we would assume that, ancient elves that have been hidden away would be powerful and all that kind of jazz.
Obviously, I've got a little bit of affinity for the elves. It's like the full elves were quite rare if they're safe. But then if they're safe, I kind of want to leave them there.
And then there are also the factions that Timothy Tipper offered to give you the locations of.
Yes, we have a big list, but we have to buy them.
Yeah.
There is
Exactly broken. We probably could buy the entire list.
there is also the Rakshasa and the other kind of devils, technically,
Yes.
that we could get on side if we sorted out shit on the devil plane.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of work.
Everything's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Basically, it's
Like,
just
this is
all
why I feel we should just
how
stick to the top 3 plan at the
yeah,
moment.
it's basically how do you guys want to, go ahead with your campaign? Really, you've got all these possible paths to take. You can't possibly do them all.
We
So
could,
you
though,
have-
if the DM let us.
Well, you got so much time.
It's not the
before.
DM; it's the king that won't let us.
Yeah, it's so much time before before the king gets bored and it's like, right, I'm going to attack these guys now.
Yeah, which would be fantastic.
I think we may need to split again.
Yes, I was wondering, so the Frontier Collective is a big one, but the Tippers HQ is a small one.
Yes.
Oh, would it need the whole party to do the spawning pits? I'm guessing.
The spawning pits is without getting too
If we can
spoilery.
even find it.
All right, so without getting too spoilery, the spawning pits is kind of tied to the collective.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured. So yeah, that's going to be a whole party job.
Which we've been told the big tokens are whole party jobs.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. So, but if some of you want to go after the dragons, perhaps we could pick a second favourite small one and go after them.
I feel like, what if half the party went after the dragons and then half the party went to the frontier and then investigated where the spawning pit could be? I know
As long
it's
as we
gonna
take
be-
a sending party member, then yes, we could do
got
that.
stones.
We do have stones. I forgot that. So
The
yeah,
problem
we
was
could
the
do that.
teleportation. You couldn't get back until you had your teleportation person, which was Verity. And things
Yes.
were chaotic. And yes, but you did get turned into water and things went tits up.
Well,
Very
let's
quickly.
not take Verity with us, and we'll be fine.
Poor Verity.
Take you instead.
Well, at least I don't turn shit into shit. I just shoot random people and then piss everyone off. Swings and roundabouts.
Oh yeah, or just Rennas and I could go. Like again, as I said, it'd be probably crappy role play thing for us because we wouldn't have much to do other than I say
Keep
crappy
each other
role
warm
play.
at night.
Rennas, terrible. As in like we just have people to go around, talk to, and looking at maps and that sort of stuff, rather than going out to Bouncy. But it may get a start on it. I don't.
Okay. Let me just bring up.
Because everything else is big, really.
Yeah.
Go for a walk to the Stone Lord.
So.
Well, there's also right in the top of the map. There's the
Eagle
They've
tribe.
been taken over.
the Eagle tribe.
They got the yellow dot.
Yeah, the Eagle tribes have sided with the king. You found
God
out.
damn them. Yes, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. The Storm, Stone, and Fire Lords. So I just posted in I copy and pasted the list from Timothy Tipper and just put it back in. Timothy Tipper, at your service. You got a tip for me?
I mean, we could potentially go to Baranzala.
We could.
Would Baranzala be a dungeon crawl, Jack?
Oh, yes, it would.
Would it require
We
everyone?
can't go to Baranzala.
It wouldn't be a very big dungeon crawl because the. Alright, so previously, when you were lower level, it would have been a relatively larger one because of things are inside there. But because you guys are so high level now, it's just literally the traps / puzzles that would probably throw you.
So, would it be a boring session for people who weren't in there? Potentially.
Yeah, probably.
Thought so.
Could you squeeze in an extra session for me and Meg?
What for ERP? I mean, I suppose, but sure.
I feel like you can just do that on any online game, though.
I meant for the dungeon
Or
crawl.
just in a
Oh,
Discord chat, you know?
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, dungeon crawl, yeah, I mean, sure, but...
Also, I refuse to allow this to happen, you visiting a dwarven fucking ruin without the dwarf.
It's full of fucking elves. Fuck the dwarfs. They're all
In a
dead.
dwarven vault!
Arri would take you too, so it's fine.
What happens
you
in
want
the
to call
dungeon crawl stays in the dungeon crawl.
Oh god.
I can throw the beard over the shoulder. Don't worry.
It's really all dependent on
It's
how
like the
you guys
tie.
want to approach this. But I mean, I'll give you my recommendations. Baron Zala is a dungeon crawl, and it will be pretty boring for whoever isn't part of that. It's not going to be as long as a dungeon crawl as I initially foreseen it because you're now so high level. The Autodirects is a thing that can lead onto other things potentially. Myconid College is a thing. Stone Lord is a thing that could potentially lead onto other things. And then there are other things that you are not aware of that are currently happening.
Yeah.
What size token would the elves be? Would that be something that just a couple of people could do? Go to the August Temple and take the teleportation circle?
Yes, I'd say the elves. I would put them as a side quest sort of thing.
So we could all do the dungeon crawl, and then we split up.
Yeah, that's possible.
And say, okay, you guys can go to the frontier. We'll go get the elves because that just means going back to the August Monastery.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah.
Everyone partakes in the actual dungeon itself, and then people can do other things outside. Oh. Are you okay, Verity?
Yeah.
Is anything broken or bleeding?
Like apart from the chair. Like you're not a moron.
I totally read
but
that
the
as
fact they
I'm a
said
moon.
that suggests they're probably reasonably. I'd like to think I'm a moron would not be
Laughing.
laughing pain. There we go.
Oh.
I'm glad you're not too badly hurt.
Mm.
But does that sound agreeable to people?
Yes, but I also kind of want to prioritise Avotix. I feel like we've just left him out there.
No. I don't mean as in we should go do Baron Zala, but if we do Baron Zala, then we all do it, and then afterwards we go split off.
Okay. So why don't we do the initial plan of half of us going to Ivotodrix and half of us going to the frontier to try and scout where we might end up with the spawning pits, but not actually doing the spawning pits.
Well, I was
We can
thinking
try and locate them.
if we're gonna all go to the spawning pits anyway, why don't you do that while the other group goes to the elves in the August Monastery, and say we get like the Myconid colonies, like someone quick and someone relatively fast-ish, rather than investigation then return, rather than instead you just go and get then come back.
Well, we don't know how long investigation could take. It might take me 6 months to find it.
So,
Not very smart.
Baron Zala dungeon crawl. After dungeon crawl, split off. Half go to the elves in the August Temple. Half go to Avotadrax. Come back. All go to the frontier. And then once we've done the frontier,
I'm thinking back to Parfadellen. Some go to, just as an example, Myconids. Half go to the Myconid colonies, half go to Avotadrax.
Okay.
Then we all come back. Then we go do the Baron Zala dungeon crawl. Then half go to the elves, half go to the frontier, start investigating. When the people with the elves come back, they can just go join the frontier then.
Okay, game for that. Probably pick the Stone Lord over the. Well, I don't know, maybe not.
Please.
Myconids.
Pardon?
Can you put it in words?
So,
like as in like physical typed.
Okay.
Thank you. There's a lot of steps, and because I'm not the one who said them.
I'll be Verity will be taxi.
Did we have a circle for Avotadrax, or is it going to be like so many days? I think was it 6 days of travel there?
Yeah, I think the dragons were flying us there.
I can't remember how many days, but yeah, we were being flown.
Yeah, and then teleported back.
Yes. So it would need a teleporter to go with.
Yeah.
But potentially we could do Myconids and Stone Lords in 6 days.
Possibly.
It's worth a try.
Start with Stone Lords, then go to
Depends on transport, if you can teleport, or if it would be travel. If you go in by foot or by, horseback, etc., then it may not be as easy to do in 6 days.
Yeah, is it about?
Well, we knew where the Myconids were. We saw the path that led to them.
Yeah, that's
when
the thing. You know how to get to them. You don't have the teleportation circles to get to them. You've been given directions, so
Yeah, but we could teleport to Arrabella, I think it was, and then
go
they were
from
like
there.
down the path from there. But then looking at the map, they look very far apart.
You'd probably be better off going to possibly Philly Durzan or
We
Brine.
won't be able to get out of.
Well, we
Philly
can't get out
Durzan.
of Philly Durzan. It's
Well, I
blocked
don't
by
think
bloody
they.
dwarfs.
I don't think they're right at the door.
Right. So an army can't get out. A small elite group most likely can.
Yeah.
Okay, so potentially Philly Durzan out to the Myconids.
Possibly. What would the travel time be from Philly to Myconids?
I think it's about a day per 2 squares.
Yeah, you give it about a day and a half, give or take.
There you go, Meg. Does that make sense, or do you want further clarification?
This all sounds good.
I've also put it in the Discord chat.
Thank you.
Does that read better?
No, it just goes in my head a bit better. I have to do this in meetings in work, and I'm like, cool, you just said a lot of awesome stuff. Can I please have that in Word format so that I can actually retain it all, please? Because I've written notes, but these won't make sense to me in 2 minutes.
This is 3 words that I've said that make sense now, but future Zach is going to be like, why? Why are you like this? But does that make more sense, basically?
Yeah, thank you. I thought that was what you said, but then my brain was like, did he just say Barazala? I can't remember him saying Barazala.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a plan.
Ish.
So
until someone else gets kidnapped.
And Verity wants to go to unicorns, I believe.
Yes.
There's unicorns in places.
We need the
to find out what
Ding.
Kara is.
But if we understand right, he's not that far away from the Myconid colonies, is he? He's actually quite near Path, isn't he?
You know he's around the area of Fort Might.
Yeah. God, there's so much to do.
Yeah. However, you inform Callus Sorsko that to be ready, you're going to go gather more allies. He's okay with this. He's actually quite itching to get into a fight. He's a warrior without a purpose, and now you've given him a purpose. He's quite on the board. Like, despite the fact that he's governed by tradition and his people's culture, he seems quite excited to really cut loose and just trap. He seems to be romanticizing the idea of just charging into the enemy and trampling them all. However, in the pursuit of more allies, you gather together. Verity casts teleportation circle, I assume, to get you back Half-Orc. And nothing weird happens today.
We risk this every time. I really feel like I should be using Word of Recall more, just so we don't potentially risk detonating a bomb as we leave a place. But that's fine. That's a conversation for another day.
When you return to Half-Orc, there are a lot more faces here that you don't recognize, including the faces of creatures whom you did not expect to see. Emissaries of your allies. You see your standard faces, more half-elves than there were before. There seems to be people who are just drawn to this place. And, obviously they have thoroughly checked beforehand to make sure they're not spies or anything like that. Obviously the orcs are here. There are more GIF around, the same people of the same race, as Kayla. Interestingly, you are given a report that in the very far cusps corners of Half-Orc, there appears to be a small little Sir, what do you call a group of felines?
Pride?
Yeah, there is a small pride of snow leopards.
Ah, from the ice caves.
Yeah.
Seem to have
Pride
made
of
their way
Muse.
here.
Did we invite them?
They were interrogated by individuals who could speak with animals to realize that they are here to honor an agreement that their queen had made with you. There are also representatives from 2 allied companies that you have made, from Elle Sundowner and R. Valenstar, and 2 individuals who you have met before and not seen since are currently in Parfadellum, Raphael and Lorabeth.
I was about to
that's
say,
nice.
It's
is Raphael
been
still looking
years!
old? Did he manage to restore his youth, or is he still an old man now?
Zaphus has returned. He is currently in Parfadellum, and people have whispers of a dark presence that has become about him.
Yee.
Sorry,
Loic
who's returned with the dark presence? I missed the name.
Zathos.
Zaphus.
Ah, yes.
He's
Your
completed
warlock Zaphos.
his little pact he has.
Fucking warlocks.
Loic has will also give you a report. The king has been busy, and he has secured alliances with 2 more factions.
No!
The Yanagu Crusaders have joined his cause.
I think we were
Yeah.
expecting that.
We were.
They've also reached out to a kingdom of bullywuggying swampers in the very, very south regions of Meltokyo. The bullywugs and their toad riders are rising from their swamps, and they have sided with the king.
But they sound so cute and lovable. Why would they sound with evil?
I mean, they are frogs. I've just googled them. They're literally frog people.
Yeah, like we know them from the Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign.
Find bullies in their name. Ugh.
However, because Loic rolled really well on this particular one, his spies have been able to determine where the king is sending Niccolo Fiolo next. They are reaching out to a kingdom of merfolk in the South Waters. They're also reaching out to a coalition of covens of hags.
If we know that they're going away and looking for allies, Niccolo Fiolo, maybe it's worth scrying on him one more time, and then if it doesn't work, we know that he has specific scrying protection, not that he was in the castle at the time we tried to scry on him.
I can do it now if you'd like.
Well,
Out of the dome.
Yeah, out of the dome.
well, we'll pick that up on the next session, guys.